as my other half says, happy dark stuff. I dig that. But on a whole level, like, I like really dark stuff because a lot of people don't know this, but that's where I am. Like, you know, the bright colors and all that is because I stayed hidden for a long time, or I was told I couldn't for a long time. My dad was one of those dads, like, you don't wear nail polish because that's a horse color. Like, not like that, but it's like he didn't want what happened to happen to me, and it's like, but he worked. I love my daddy, so I don't like to talk bad about him. But he had his drug problems. He's clean and sober now.
That's
and
good.
He was an alcoholic. He's clean and sober now. He used to smoke cigarettes. He does not anymore. And, like, he just... To know the man that I knew as a child and the things that I didn't know, and he was just this huge entity to me, and then to figure these things out, and then to see this man kind of... He's a man, so I hate to say crumble because they're men, but to watch this man crumble, and then to go back and see family photos to where he was like this big. It's like, you really didn't pay attention to that. But I was super young around that time too. So for me to watch him kind of go from here to the bottom, and now, like, I feel back again, and, like, that man has a story to tell, and I want to fucking hear it. Like, I want to hear it. And for the life of me, I don't know how. My dad's a very quiet, brooding man. Like, he's very wise, and he's a Virgo, so, you know, they're like elephants. They never forget. But they low-key kind of hold grudges, but they're very protective, and I love him, and that's my dad. And the reason why I guard my dad so much and hold him so high is because that motherfucker made it through. And but he made it through, like, for real. And he's smart, and, you know, he started college, and if I'm not mistaken, last thing I remember, he's still he was going for his accounting degree, and I think he still has, like, if the credits are still current and he can finish, I think he only had like 6 months or so or something like that.
It's coming up, man.
And that's, I'm like, you know, I mean, he loves to work. He's one of those old school men that I think he's gonna die working, but he enjoys it. He loves working with his hands, and I'm happy for him. Like, he loves to get up and go get it, and that's where I get it from. Yeah. Like, so, and it's weird. Like, for a long time, I was like, I'm my mom's daughter, and I'm just so this and I'm that, and I'm a hard person to deal with, and I do have an attitude, and I am my mom's child. But, like, really sitting back thinking of it, I'm like, there's a lot of my dad in me. Like, the fact that I won't let you tell me I can't. The fact that there's no way anybody's gonna tell me you can't do this, that, and the third because of A, B, and Z. There's no way. He always told me that that's impossible. Like, whatever they say you can't do, that's impossible. So that's how I always looked at it. I was always too little or too small or for everything. Like, when I ran my birthday, because our birthday September 25th, so our birthday was like right at the cutoff. So when it was 8 and under, I couldn't run in 8 and under, so I had to run in 9 and 10. So I was only 8-year-old running with 9 and 10-year-olds.
Oh,
and
wow.
Yeah, so I always had to go like the next group up or the next, you know. And then when my dad really sat me down and was like, do you want to do this? Then I had to start training with the boys. And then my twins started running. So now I had a training partner. And then, you know, we were from South Jersey. We didn't have much. So, well, I'm a South Jersey, Alabama, Texas girl.
Oh, wow.
So,
when did you come to Texas?
2003.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We ended up in Beaumont, which I think was where my dad was born. Or maybe his dad was from. I don't remember, girl. I just know we have family literally all over the place. So, yeah. We started running, and for me, that was my way of running away from what was going on. Like, when I had time for the family, all the family had to be there. That was like my favorite time. And then when it was time to go, my little bag was packed. I didn't have much, but that little bag was packed. My spikes were in it, and I was ready to go. I had my little bonnet to wrap my hair up. I was, you know what I mean? Like, and if mom and pop had any little coin, I got a little bit of, you know what I mean? I got like $20 to try to, and girl, let me tell you, going to place for a week or two, trying to run and trying to stretch $20, like doing that as a kid. Now I'm grateful because I can live and I can survive. But like a lot of people would be like, damn, that's harsh. But like 12 going to the Virgin Islands, I think my mom, and that was at the time that me and both my brothers were running. So all three of us had to go to the Virgin. Well, we didn't have to go. We qualified, so we made it. So we were going.
That's so cool.
So we all went, but like it was crazy because you could see the stress in mom and dad, and it was just like, you know what, we'll make it work. And we all, I think, together, all the change we found, and then my mom was able to give each of us like $20 to $30 or something, or like $40. It was like $40 each or something. And then all our little change we scraped together, we cashed it all in, and you know, because it was like AAU, so like the city, or like they call it Hershey or something, they paid for that, so we got to go run, but we qualified, and we were grateful for that. That's what kept us out the streets, and my mom and daddy whooped ass, so there was no gang activity. Like your gang was your family. Only thing you were repping was that church. Like, and that's how they are. Now don't get me wrong, because we were fighting in the streets, and every time we got caught, the hammer came down. Like, but regardless of everything that was going on, we fought together and we rode together, and that's why I say that was still my brother. I just, at some point, it's a wash for me. Like, I don't defend him. I don't speak good graces of him. I just teach us the good parts of my childhood that I'm grateful for, the fighting and things. Thank you for you know, at that point, standing in and being a brother figure. But for the rest of that, fuck that. But on, I don't want to say the up and up, that's bullshit. For me, that kind of shaped me towards, and my parents don't know this, but that shaped me towards around like 8 or 9. I was at a friend's house or something, and their mom never let us go in her room to use the bathroom, but at that point in time, both the bathrooms like in the main part of the house were full, so she was like, and I had to go, so she was like, all right, you go straight in, you do your business, you don't even wash your hands, you come out and you wash your hands out here, I don't want y'all touching around in my bathroom. And I just remember getting in and just being like, all right, you gotta hurry up, see everything you could possibly see. So I just remember going in, and I went to close the door, and I dropped the latch. She, you don't have to lock it, so I unlocked it. So I just remember hitting the long stroll around the bathroom and like checking out the vanity, and like, even though we didn't have like a lot of stuff, like my mom did hair, so like her hair was always laid, like, and it was back in the 90s, so my mom would have like a Gumby at one point, and then like go from that to like the old, like at the end of Set It Off, when Jada Pinkett cut all her hair off, like she even went that and went blonde. Like now she has dreads. Like my mom has done like a lot of different things. Like it's just, and what I know, most of what the basis of me doing hair started from, I was braiding by the time I was 8. So and all that is due to my mom, and I give that to her, and I love, and I always thank her for that. And most of the stuff, who I am, part of that, being that girly part, is started with my mom, because on the times her and my dad could go out, or like they did have somewhere to be, or there was like, you know, the banquet for the athletes' parents, like my mom she shut it down. So at that point in time, that's where I'd be like, I wanted to be that woman who walked in the room and everybody just be like, So that's where that started. And then I'd stay up to odd hours because there'd be some nights I'm like, I'm not going in that room. Like, I know it's waiting for me, or I know it's going to come in later on. So I would purposely stay up and TV loud and or low enough so if you came down the stairs, like my mom or my dad would hear. And usually, like, if anybody got up and started moving around, then they would get up and hear. So for me, that was a barrier. If you had to come downstairs, somebody would hear, so somebody would get up. So I'd stay up and watch Eon Flux, and nice. And I'm a huge Eon Flux fan, and then like the 50-foot woman, but the naked version. You remember when like softcore porn would come on? At a certain time? so like all of those, and then like just and then like watching Designing Women and all, like stuff like that growing up, just and 227 and just all of that.
Yeah.
Like, from all the good 90s stuff, just growing up, I just always knew that if I ever hit it big or if I ever could do it, like my swag, the way I wanted to rock it, like I would always try to get it past that 110%. Like if you could push it past that, like I would always try to, you know what I mean? Because I hate this, but once I started stripping, I only started in Texas. Dancing in Texas has been, I'll say bittersweet, and it's just because sometimes, or in the beginning, it was great, but then you start to hear stuff like, "Oh, you're pretty for a black girl," or you're the darkest girl I've ever been attracted to. Thank you, I guess. I mean, it's just people say, I don't know. I guess sometimes people say stuff and they don't think about it, or it sounds okay in their head, and
right.
And you spit it out, and then once you kind of check them or let them know, hey, that's offensive, then it's like, what do you mean? And it's like, I understand you're here to pay money, but you don't just get to. You don't pay enough to talk to me crazy.
Right. Yep. It ain't worth it.
If you know what I mean? If that was the case, then I should be able to slap the piss out of your mouth, like for just disrespecting me on that level, because I make, in your eyes, enough money to do that.
Yep.
I don't know. It's just so the mindset of always being the baddest black girl in the room. And I know any girl of any woman could like understand that. Like if you, so for a while, I grew up in mostly black, and then we moved to Alabama, and it was like, whoa, there's only a few of y'all. Like not like that, because all my friends and the people that knew me and my coach, oh my God, they made me feel great about myself, and they, you know what I mean, they made me feel like, you know what I mean, you're smart and you got a talent and you push that, and we're on the same level. So if you're here, I'm here. And it's weird because moving to Alabama, I had the hugest fear of course, you go from the East Coast, everybody says the further south you go, you're going to get lynched. So for some reason, moving to Alabama, I was like, oh my God, it's going to be racist. Like, we're going to get hung. Like, I was just so freaked out about that. And then you get there, I mean, some people, but they only said slick shit. Like, they didn't really push it too far, because then once you see, okay, the whole family will roll out on you. Yeah. And then it's like, oh, okay, I don't want that. But even then, like, growing up, people would be like, you're such a white black girl, or you're so white. It's not that. My mother and father do not talk like idiots. Like, they didn't graduate college, but they have enough college between them, and they're civilized enough to know that you don't have to talk like, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. So, and when, it's weird because my mom gets that a lot on the phone, even to this day. Like, a lot of people think she's a white woman on the phone, and we'll joke with her. We'll call her a white lady. She's so cute. I love her. But my mom's like, oh my God, she would be. Oh, whose complexion would she be? My mom's like a red bone. Like, she's like, well, she's lighter than me, but she would be what we call a red bone on the East Coast. And she's just very tall. She's a tall woman. So
what's her height?
My mom's 5'11".
Wow. Okay, that is tall.
Yeah. So every time she would walk in a room, it's like you kind of had to look at her like that. But on top of that, she wanted to be a model growing up, and she always carried herself like in a high stature. But even she was told you could never be a model, blah blah blah. And I don't know what happened. Maybe she fell in love. Maybe, I don't know. I guess it was my dad. Maybe that's where she didn't pursue that further. But there's a couple old school pictures, and I think some of them are on my social media where like you just kind of see her in her phases of like posing and kind of like throwing her arms up, and she's just so long, so it always looked good. So the things, and I don't know, I'm only 5'3.5", and when I hit the stage, everybody's like, you're so long and you're so flexible, and I'm not flexible at all. I can't do any type of like, just, I love y'all, thank y'all, it really makes me feel good, and I have been working on it. I'm really shooting. I've been trying to do the splits all my 31 years. I really have been. But like, because of her, I'm I guess long limbed. Because people say that your torso's abnormally short, but your limbs are long. So I try
that's
to
me
work
too,
that.
actually.
And my mom's always like, you sit up, you know, if you're gonna do that, you extend. And it's like, where did you take these dance classes, woman? Like, who taught you this? But that's where we learn to survive. You didn't have the money to do all of that, so you sat and you watched TV or you looked at magazines and you practice. So that's where I got that from. And my dad had the sports part of me, so when I was doing that, when it was all workout all the time, when people would crash out, I'd sit up and watch TV and study in a sense, and then I'd go in the mirror and try to practice. And it was always awkward, but I mean, now I guess it helps because some of my stuff I feel comes off better. I'm getting more comfortable. It's taken a while, but again, it's a stubbornness. And I don't know. So for me, pole dancing came into play. So, sorry, going back to that. So my friend's mom's bathroom is the first time I seen a Playboy. So I told myself at 8 years old I was going to do that. Like, that was going to be a goal of mine. Somehow I was going to be one of those girls in the Playboy. Never made it. Still shooting for it. I might get too old for it. I don't even care, but anything is possible at this point. So that never happened. And then there was something. Players Club. We were not supposed to watch it. I snuck and watched it. And then I was like, so I always had the understanding that I go to school, I get out, you got to go to college. We never knew how we were going to pay for that, but hell or high water, you go to college. So my thing was, if I did get accepted into college and, you know, was able to get there and figure out a way to live, eat, sleep, and survive, if there was no other avenues of work, I would become a dancer. Like, I would be a stripper. So I ran track, I got a scholarship, everything looked great, and then again my niece said, girl, we can't do this no more. So at first it was Enterprise car rental, which I loved. Enterprise, it was good. I went from a valet person, which it's not, they pull those cars up after people rent them out, or the cars that are there that need to be like freshened up, you vacuum them out and fluff them up and pull them around for the people. Or you had to go pick up customers who didn't have cars to make it there, and this is before any type of Google Maps. Google Maps, the app. So you remember we had the Google Map on the computer, print out the directions, and Jesus. So I went from that to actually helping like one of the lead people. So I really didn't have to wash cars anymore or go pick up customers. My main thing was taking care of the fleet. So anytime any cars got in a wreck or needed to go to the shop, I had to take them to the shop. I had to pick them up. I had to sign for them. I had to get them back. I had to transport them or shuffle them from enterprise to enterprise. So I would, some days, on the light day, I could move about 8 to 10 cars. And basically you just driving them. You're trying to get the right car to the right enterprise. So basically you're wheeling and dealing with all the enterprises. Hey, can I get this car for that car? Let me get this car for that car. So I was the person that was in between that was like, hey, they said they only have this, but they want your this. So then it's like, all right, girl, figure out how you're going to get there. All we got is this beat up whatever that actually needs to go down to the motor mile off Stastny, so it can be cashed in. So I had to go somehow shuffle to get these cars there, and then take this beat up car that was no longer needed down to the motor mile so they could, like, I guess salvage it or fix it up and then sell it as a used car. And then I got stuck down on the motor mile off of Stastny, needing to get back to Fifth and Walsh because I had shuffled all the cars around to where there were no more cars left to get me back to where I needed to get to. And sometimes that would happen a lot, so I'd end up stuck there, like, waiting for a little while. Like, it wasn't too terrible, but it was terrible because as long as I felt like if I wasn't moving, then I wasn't getting paid. And then, or if I wasn't moving, I needed to be studying. And there was a lot of times where I just ended up getting kind of stuck sitting there because things kind of started to slow down. Like, other places started opening up, like you had Hertz and different things like that. So, and I'm talking about, like, in the Austin area, or just the rate started. I guess the rate war started, so things just kind of started to fade. And I didn't really have a lot of work to do after a while. And then some of the people started crashing cars. Like, I didn't. So they give you one, you slide on. The second one, they investigate, and then, like, they kind of curb you for a little bit, so you strictly only wash cars. And, yeah. I had never gotten a wreck, thank God, but my twin started working, and him and his friends, and I vouched for some of them. So then it got to the point where I was like, I need to go because y'all are wrecking a reputation. So it went from that to I needed to make money, and my other half was waitressing at a strip club. And it was like, well, what do you want to do? You want to try to waitress? And for a while we practiced at the house with I couldn't waitress to save my life. Like, if we were in a real setting with people around, there's no way. Like, I was two-handing that thing, and for some reason I couldn't get the balance right. Like, I broke glasses in my own home, and I was upset. So think about, like, if I would have started breaking a bunch of glasses at a club, they would have charged me up for that. Like, somebody would have found some way to make me pay for that. So it was time to get honest, and I was like, I kind of made up my mind, just on a poor girl level, in that sense, I was gonna strip if it came down to it.
And then, how old were you when you started?
I was 20.
Okay.
Was I 20? No. Yes.
And you've been doing it for 10 years now?
Yes. Yeah. The last 2 years have been more, or 3 years have been more off and on. But yeah, I started when I was 20. And it was nerve-wracking because at first I was in the dorms and then I wasn't. But, like, my first 2 weeks I was in the dorms because that was just too. First of all, my coach at the time was, like, very in your face. And that was actually, truth be told, the first time I hurt my knee in college, but I didn't say anything. I just thought, like, in high school, you know, you just sit out for a couple, or you need to stretch better. But I had actually, like, really tore my meniscus, and, like, it was, yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah. So at that point in time, it was a slight tear, but because I didn't say nothing, of course, it got worse. And yeah. Which isn't a big thing, but for some reason I guess it never healed right. Or maybe it's just all me. Maybe I have PTSD, but there's now a point where I get to, it's not my top speed, but where my turnover speed is, where you kind of go from, like, either I would say a stride to a sprint, or if you're going from a jog to a pickup. and would always be around. I was a quarter horse. I love the 400. So right around my last 150 is where I would always, coming out at 200 meter turn, that last 150 is where I would always, it's called a slingshot. So you come around your 200, you're coming around that last curve, and you kind of pick it up to the top of the lane, and then right as you're coming out, you zip down to the inside. So it literally pulls you in, and you can gain a lot of ground by doing that. So it would, when I would start my pickup for my slingshot, I would always feel things start to pinch, or it would feel like. So I'd always get to the point where I'd stop, and then my coach got me, and my trainer got me to a point where they convinced me where it was all in my head, but then I actually hurt myself again. So then I didn't know if it was all in my head or if I just wasn't ready and I actually hurt myself again. So So I made that a very mournful. I cried like drama cry. Like, I didn't know I could cry that hard. I mourned my track career. Like, I lost. And even now, like, every now and then, like, I'll sit and watch some of the track meets or even the Olympics, the track portion of it, and I'll start to get into it and just the beauty of it all and the slight envy of missing it. Just, I'll start to tear up and cry, and I can't watch it anymore. But
yeah, I
still love it. And just watching, going back to a track and feeling that rubber and, mimicking coming out of the blocks. And God, I love it. I just,
How fast can you run a mile?
I haven't run a mile in a while. Actually, a couple days ago, I was stressed out a lot, and I just took off running, and I ran a mile out and came back and ran. But that took me about 10 minutes. So
okay, that's pretty good.
It wasn't bad. Again, I just kind of lost. But I haven't competitively ran the mile. I think since I was like 10. Yeah. I got out of there fast. It just wasn't for me. But yeah, so my other half was like, well, I work here. Do you want to come in and audition? I had a full afro at this time. And I was actually braiding the manager's hair at that time. So he still is the only black manager at the Yellow Rose in Austin. That's just where I started at. I love that place. I worked at P10. I love it.
Are you at Yellow Rose now?
Off and on, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I have no set schedule, but I do try to go in and work when I want to, or if I absolutely have to. So now it's more lenient. I used to be I would say a career. I don't say career like Julia Roberts' Pretty Woman career. I say career like the club opened at 11. I was there at 11:15. Our shift ended at 8. I was out the door at 8:30. Like, I would be the first girl on stage and the last girl on stage. You know what I mean? Like, on Sundays, it would be me and another girl holding it down for, like, 4 hours, and then other girls would start coming in. So, like, I was, like, like an everyday girl. Like, I did that, or I was, like, a Monday through Friday, and then realized, well, the weekends were better, so I would stretch it out. Then I went every other day, but I did that. My first 4 years were, I was on top of mine. So I would like to think I built a pretty good reputation there and just anywhere professionally. But I started dancing, and I realized girls who did things on the pole got tipped more. And even then, it wasn't really about the tips for me. It was astonishing that you could do that on a pole. Like,
it's like art and athleticism.
And it's like, oh, and this girl's got her boobs out. I'm with it. But like, the tiniest chick I had ever saw, her name was Lily Ty. Lily Ty on the pole. If you know the Lily Ty I'm referring to,
I don't.
Anybody who knows Lily Ty, she is by her other profession. But one of her, I met her in the pole game. she is a great showman. She is an awesome poler. I don't know if she still poles or practices it. But she is a fucking awesome woman. And I still, you know, we all have our mood swings and this and that. And, I mean, some people don't have a taste for Ty. I will always have love for Ty. I look at her as my first sensei. But she gave it to me straight, raw, and to the point. First of all, I, like, asked her every day for, like, 2 weeks to, like, teach me pole. And that B word told me no. Like, she just ignored me. She wouldn't do it. She didn't teach. And granted, it was a strip club. Nobody's gonna give you their arsenal. I mean, at that is the most primal or primal feminine, feline-esque. Like, girls are either gonna be real women and straight to the point in there, or they're gonna be catty little bitches and cry, or they're going to be sneaky whores. And don't get me wrong, I'm not here to slut shame or hurt shame anybody, but when I say sneaky whores, I say the people, those are my girls who don't know their worth. Like, if you're doing you and you're getting yours, by all means, but set your price right. If you're doing your thing and you're charging $5 a pop, charge them $500 a pop. I don't care, but at least they know, okay, if I want my dick sucked or if I want to be fucked in this club, I gotta pay $500 and up to do this. And I only say that because some people say $500. You could tell a guy could ask you right now in pretty much any strip club you go to, and they could say it doesn't happen. That's a fucking lie. But we'll ask you, hey, can you know, what does that mean? Nobody wants to explain it. Why? You asked for it, but you don't want to explain it. And then when I say, okay, well, and I don't like to judge people, but I would always start off at $800. One time somebody called my bluff and I had to eat shit. But he gave me $300 for being honest. Because I told him flat out, look, bro, like, I didn't, not like that, but that was just always my set going rate, $800. And I was always O for O. Like, nobody ever, like, threw $800 on the table and was like, all right, let's get it. I was like, so you were the first person to call my bluff, and it's not that I didn't think, I guess, to be honest, I didn't think you had it because nobody else actually checked the box. You know what I mean? So when he actually was like, oh yeah, and hold up, let me go to the car. And he came back with his little, I mean, it could have been you could have cashed your income tax. It could have been, I don't know what it was. You know, you could have just sold your car. Yeah. Whatever. But he came back with the little bank. You could have got a loan.
Western Union.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, stripper wise, dancer wise, we like to. I mean, there's nothing wrong with stripper, but because society likes to fuck up the connotation, dancer wise, money is money. I gotta eat just like you gotta eat. My bills spend just like your bills. Like, when it's time to pay them, we gotta pay them. So he came back with an envelope full of money, and then was like, you know, here's $1,500 more. You need to set your price. He was like, a girl like you could go, and I was like, oh, I'm just saying a minimum $2,500. And he was like, that's if you choose to have sex. And I was like, well, shit. I mean, the confidence on a escort level, the confidence there. I don't care what anybody say. If somebody say they're willing to pay for your goods and the price is $2,500 minimum, like, not like that, but that's a little bit of a confidence boost.
Yeah. And when did he tell you this? Like, how long ago?
So he thought I was. I mean, don't get me wrong, because I always tell people straight up. But at that point in time when we were talking, he thought I was around my early 20s, but I was actually, I think I was 26.
Okay, so you're in it for a little,
I was in
a
it
minute.
for a minute by then. But, like, he really threw that money on the table, and I was like, well, I'm not really, I can't go home with you.
Yeah.
That's just, that for me, it was just for me, that wasn't my bag. And granted, somebody did go home, and I heard about it. So at that point in time, I was doing like a every other day. So like the second day, I waited 2 days and then popped back in. And you know, she was talking about how she got that bag and she made that money and it didn't last that long. And kudos. I mean, real talk. Like, you made your $1,500. That's what's up.
Yeah.
But I couldn't do that.
Yeah. What are the pros and cons to stripping?
On top of knowing your worth, you have to stay in your ground. You have to... That's a good question. I would stay in your ground, because if you don't, what's the saying? How does the saying go? If you fall for anything, what is it?
I'm awful at this.
There's a saying, if you, I think it's, I guess it refers to being gullible. I don't really know, but if you set yourself, it's something, but basically, if you don't stay in your ground, especially in the strip club, you slowly, and I don't want any of my other dancers or anybody who's like having a ball right now in there, because if you are having and not to say I'm not having a ball in my stripping career, it's just for me, I'm on a different phase of stripping.
Yeah.
I'm always about entertaining, and I'm always gonna bring my best. If y'all see my pole videos or y'all see me on stage, not on a cocky level, but I do perform and I do book my gigs here and there. And I need to really start buckling down and networking and trying to book more. But I always bring as much as I possibly can, and I'm not as experienced and I don't have much funds, because, you know, I got student loans and stuff to pay back. I don't know, that goes first. And then I got a car, and my brakes.
You're an adult.
Yeah, like, that's
responsibilities. Yeah.
But yeah, sorry, that's what it is. My responsibilities come first, so I don't have a lot to spend on like costuming and stoning, but I want to. So, in what I feel I lack in that, or in that creativity of that, I try to bring that in my stage presence, in my, I don't want to say choreography, because I don't feel like I'm trained in any form. Well, I did African dance growing up for a while, but I don't feel like I'm actually trained in any other form than that. So I just try to bring me to that. Like, I try to, if you give me a theme, or if you approve a song, I'm going to try to bring everything I can from that song to life, or whatever inspires me from that to life. And everything that I do is pretty much freestyle, but that's every idea I've come up with kind of on a spot from, like...
That's impressive, though.
Yeah, so I just...
What themes, or what...
So, like, 420, I did a burlesque... Well, depending on the stage, it was either a burlesque routine or what I like to call pole-esque. So it starts off kind of striptease burlesque, and then at the end, or towards the middle end, it's banging out pole, and then, you know, at the end, I pull off to pasties and bottoms. So I still try to give it a little classy show with a little bit, I guess for the pole would be sex, or for me, strength. And because I was always told, and I'm still told, I'm a fit polar, which hurt my feelings in the beginning, because I don't really like fitting in the box, because I've always thought of myself as averaged, or been considered average, I guess, on the learning spectrum of things. I graduated in the top 60% of my high school class, so I've always just been average.
You're not average to me at all.
Well, I don't know. It's sad because I accept it, but I'm like, I feel like I stand out.
You do.
In a lot of ways. And my twin taught me that. Like, my twin, I used to envy that a lot. He's just very funny and charismatic, and he's the life of the party, and that's my boy. Like, he will always be my ride or die. And I just, as we were growing up, I would just get stars in my eyes, because the moment we get around people, it's like I'm just waiting, because I'm like, here he comes. Like, he's turning on.
Aww.
And I'd be like his little cheerleader in the background laughing and like manning him up. But he just always taught me that if they're looking, you can do whatever you want. He was like, just if you're going to entertain in that sense or make them laugh, then just do it. Don't overdo it. Don't make it artificial, but just naturally do it. Like, that was him. He naturally just turned on, but he was always natural at everything. Like, when the and one basketball stuff started, like, he just sit and watch the tape for an hour and then be out on the curb doing everything, bouncing balls off my head, like, just breaking my ankles, all type of stuff. But so for me, when I started polling, I just really, when I saw that, I heard him say, just do it.
So he's supportive?
So he didn't know about it for a long time, and I feel bad because I kept it from him for a really, and I really don't even know what I know my mom knows, but I don't really know what they know to this day. But he did come to Dallas and see one of the burlesque shows. I used to be with a troupe a while back that I'm no longer with. I'm now solo burlesquing, but my family popped up, and my twin brother and my sister-in-law was actually able to come see me perform in a burlesque show. So he actually got to see what I did, and I was in an Astles and Tassels routine, which for my twin brother for the first show, hindsight was a bit much. It really was. But I would not have wanted him to see me do anything any other way at that point in time. Like, at that point in time, I was really fighting for what I felt was a position that I know now that I probably never could have really filled. I mean, I probably could have, but I couldn't have filled it. Like, there's no way. But I was really fighting for something, and on a bigger level, it had nothing to do with the entity of which I was a part of. It had everything to do with me, because this was something I never thought I would ever actually be able to do, even though I sat and watched Lucille Ball till late hours of the night, until TV literally went off. And then when she started doing movies, and then when they started shooting movies of her in color, like, just watching that, and like Greta Garbo, and just all of that coming back to life in this was like the embodiment of everything that I started studying. So I was trying to like really put everything from that like small moment in time of growing up into this, and it was just a little bit too much too fast, and I wanted to do this and this and this, and I did eventually wind it down and slow down and do it at my own pace, but I just felt like it still wasn't good enough for the entity that I was a part of. So you know, it is what it is. But yeah, for me, pole dancing, yeah, so I finally got Lily Tide to break down and show me. Holy smokes, what was my first pole trick? Y'all, if I'm lying, I'm flying, but I swear to God, it was the Aisha. It was something of that, or maybe it was like an invert or something. There was something she showed me that was way too advanced for me to be my first pole trick. But she showed it to me. She showed it to me twice, and then she walked me through it twice, and then I got it. Like I practiced, and then when I got it, she came up to me and was like, "All right, bitch, I ain't teaching you nothing else. You ain't getting better than me. Or if you want to get better than me," that's what she said. "If you want to get better than me, then you'll figure it out." And walked off.
Wow, that was real.
That was real. So from that moment on, I was like, I respect this bitch.
Yeah.
I don't care what nobody say. She could be the biggest bitch in the world. That's respect.
Yeah.
But also, I stepped off the stage and went home and was pissed off like a motherfucker, because I was like, that bitch only gave me one trick and then told me to go. You gotta go fend for yourself. So my other half was like, she right. That's how it is. Welcome to the real world. And I was like, are you serious? But from that moment on, I have literally fallen on my neck, my shoulder. I have bruised ribs. I have bruised muscles in my hands. I have dislocated my shoulder. I have, just a lot of different things.
I hope you had insurance.
I did. Well, at that time I did. My dad was working. I was I still had a little bit of time left before I had turned 25 because I had actually so a lot of this happened, I'm sorry, because I was still in college age and I hadn't reached whatever that age was where his insurance would cut me off. I think I had like to 23 or 25 or something. So I was still insured under him, but I could not tell him I fucked all of this up in the strip club on the pole trying to learn this stuff in heels and stuff. And at that time they knew that I had stopped running because the thing was if you're gonna lie as minimally as possible. So you are still going to school, which is I still went to school. You aren't running track anymore, which I wasn't, but I didn't need any money because I didn't need any money. As far as they were concerned, because I was on scholarship, they hadn't taken my scholarship. So within that time, I was able to finish out the semester and move off campus. But again, we didn't talk about a lot of stuff. So as far as they didn't really, I was working. And I might have lied and said I was still working at Enterprise. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But I was hell bent on learning tricks and getting everything I could out of this pole because truth be told, I really didn't know how to dance. My twin brother taught me how to dance. I didn't twerk I felt I wasn't twerking as well as I was or as I am now. When y'all see me, or I used to teach twerk classes at Brass Overeaters, old Brass Overeaters when it was off of Manor Road. But yeah, so I was like, I gotta get this down. So by the time I ran in the Sophie, I was every bit of 21. And I just remember having a conversation with her, and she was like, yeah, you're like 27. And I was like, oh my God. No, stop. I wish. I was like, I'm a fucking child. I'm 21. But it made me feel good because I felt like at the end of the day, honestly, I was still making my mom and dad proud. I came into this no matter what the negative connotation was with people in society. I came into this as a woman with respect and professional, and there was one thing that I was sure of: nobody was going to take advantage of me without my permission. Like, you gave me a controlled setting to be as highly sexual as I wanted to be, like within reason, because there are rules. Sorry, within reason. So I was going to be as highly sexual as I wanted to be because that was something that made me feel, comfort, because I didn't have that first being introduced to something sexual. Does that makes sense?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, so that was another thing that made me jump in feet first to like poling and stripping, and because I had to prove to myself, first of all, I could survive. First of all, I could make money. And I mean, on a vein level, I wanted to finally be considered. I didn't grow up pretty. I had bad acne, buck teeth. Like, before I started running track, I was a really chubby kid, and then I wasn't anymore. But then I had no boobs at all, no butt at all, and then all of a sudden stuff started to feel. It was just. Again, I was a twin. Maybe that had something to do with it. He's a boy. I don't know. It just took. Then I was really buff in high school, but I was running track, so I was really trying to. But then my thighs were great. I loved how big they were. Like, I missed that old track body. But yeah, so Sophie. So for 7 years, I tried to work for Brass Overs. So that's a bittersweet thing for me. But for 7 years, I got turned down, and then 1 year, which is weird because this made me feel like I got hired by default. But like 1 year, a bunch of people either quit or got fired, or a little bit of A and B, whatever. And I got asked if I wanted to come interview, and I was like, yeah. And the owner was like, well, yeah, I know you're Sophie's friend. And it's like, but I know you. Like, I've been to your house before, and I've been trying to do this for 7 years, but no big deal. I'm nobody. At that point in time, nobody knew me, of me, only Sophie did. So everything I did was all only in a day shift Yellow Rose. So only the day shift people were like, really, y'all should check that girl Ashley out. Like, man, she's this and she's that. And then at some point, I walked in and I started making like $80 a day. And then 1 week, I only made $80 like that whole week. And then one day I walked in for a day shift and I made nothing. Like, I paid my house fee, but I made nothing. So I was like, all right, something's got to change. And of course you hear rumors about how certain clubs don't hire black girls. And there was a rumor at the Yellow Rose that they didn't hire black girls at night. So I was like, oh, hell no. You can't tell me we're really in here. Mm-hmm. That's not happening in here. Like that. So I walked up to a manager one night and was like, hi, I'm Ashley, or, a dancer by Ashley. I would like to know if I could work night shift. He's kind of looking at me crazy. He was like, what's wrong? I was like, well, they told me y'all don't hire black girls at night shift. He was like, what? He was like, when do you want to work? And I was like, well, I could tonight, but I just been working all day. I can come tomorrow or the next day or whatever. He was like, if you want, come back tomorrow. Night shift starts at this time, blah, blah, blah. If they give you problems, let them know. I think it was Jeremy. I don't remember who let me work my first. Either way, I got in on a night shift. So from there, I just really started working and really started polling in about 2014, 2015. No, I'm lying. Might have been 2012 or 13, somewhere in there. Sophie had a cherry bomb show in South Austin and was like, would you like to pole at my rockabilly show? And I was like, what? And she was like, I want you to come do all that stuff you do on the pole at the show. So I was like, oh, okay. So I did. I got my hair up. I did Please Mr. Jailer from Crybaby. They're the awesome Cass Keys. She sung live as I pulled, and I did my hair up. I had a polka dot. I did it. Mm-hmm. I loved how I looked, and I was proud of it. Because I took that at that point in time, I'd been polling for a minute, since 2007. So this was about 2012 before I actually was like able, or 2013, before I was actually able to poll in public. So for me, that was something I always kind of wanted to do and didn't think anybody was doing that anywhere, or that I knew of. So yeah, I did that show, and then the call from Barry Soberies came. So all of a sudden it came down to, well, now you got to get certified. So it was like, well, what does this mean for me getting certified? Well, you get your certification, you got to pay this money, you got to take your course, and it was like a 3-day course for 9 hours each day. I'm still very grateful.
I don't understand the certification. What's that for?
So pole, you have your different levels of pole. Your certification teaches you from level, I want to say 1 through 4. Yeah. So you have your beginners, your intermediate, and your advanced polers. You can go past level 4, but for like studio purposes, level 4 is your highest level. So you start off with simple things like your pole walks and your what am I thinking? Like your little hip rolls and stuff, and your pole tucks, or you're building up to that. So you can get your muscles in order. If you can't really lift yourself, you're kind of doing standing on one foot. Your inside leg, which is your leg closest to the pole, is planted. Your outside leg, you're kind of lifted, but you're pulling. You're kind of slightly pulling yourself up. So you're building that muscle memory and that core up, so you're able to lift yourself onto the pole. Or, things of that nature, And then your pole level 2, you start getting introduced to things like your pole sits and just like your little tricks, and then like your pole stands, just little different things like that. Then your pole 3 is where you start to kind of work on your inverts, and your pole 2 is your pole climbing too. So climbing is your hardest thing in pole. If you can't climb or you're not climbing correctly, it will kind of make you work against yourself. That's one of the hardest things, but it helps because it never actually gets old. Climbing never gets old. Like, you could take a break, or you can get to the point where you're like, girl, I climb like the Dickens. There's always going to be a day where it's like, ooh, it's a lot climbing up this pole. Like, maybe it's just me, but some days I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
I'll do everything from the floor. And then pole 4 is the stuff you see me doing, like the Iron X. You heard me mention earlier. I think pole 3 or 4, one of them has your Aisha, but you start to get things like that, and like your knee banner, I think might be a pole 3 to 4 move. Like, it just depends on at that point in time your core level and your level of being able, what we call the transition, which is to roll from one trick into the next. So I became certified September, I think it was 2 days before our birthday, or maybe it was like 10 days before our birthday, but somewhere in there, the pole certification anniversary is around the birthday time. I got that in 2014.
And
a lot of things were like happening back to back when it first started. So yeah, I feel bad because I can't remember her name right now, but I still have my certification. It is at home on my wall.
Which level were you certified in?
I was certified in all.
Oh,
able to teach all 4.
Oh wow, nice,
So
awesome.
That's just
dope.
I made sure to know all, or as much as I could in that setting. So yeah, I'm actually certified for all 4 levels, and because I constantly don't stop watching instructional videos, or what I call them instructional videos, but they're actually just pole performance videos of people that I feel are way more like basically Amy Henderson, old Cleo the Hurricane, what's her name, Janine Butterfly, I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, people like that.
These are your influences?
Yes, those are the people that I looked up and like really, and then just looking up a lot of the Miss Pole USA. There's a lot of competitions, just looking at all the people who came from there. There's somebody, I think her name is Sparkle. I'm pretty sure I'm wrong. But yeah, a lot of the ladies are from overseas, which is really big overseas. You know, America still has the, fireman poles. If it's women on it, you're a stripper. That's a bad thing because you're a whore.
Yeah.
It's not true, but that's how it is. And I just, when I started, or I don't know, because when I started at where I was in the point in time looking up to people that I wanted to look up to, the only person that I had seen, and I love Amy, and I'm sorry, but I just got introduced to Amy about 3 years ago. Well, physically, I met her 2 or 3 years ago, last year. I'm so sorry, I can't remember. I think I just finally met her last year, but I found her on social media and watched her videos about 3 years ago. But at that time, I didn't see anybody of my complexion polling. So for me, that was just like a motivational thing to try to get there. And I just tried to do I wouldn't say everything I could, because I was still hiding from my family, which now I kind of regret, because I feel like if I was more honest, I would have more stuff on YouTube, which I need to start getting lights and things, because I want to actually put more, and I just want to kind of free flow, do stuff and post videos. Like, I'm really, like, everybody's like, you should add different people, and add my best friend Ivy, who's in Cali. When Cardi B first came out, like, for those first 2 years, she was like, you need to at Cardi B. Like, every poll video I put out and every performance I did, she was like, you need to at these people. And I'm just like, I understand, but what if I'm not as good? Or what if, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of what ifs. And again, got a lot of regrets for not just doing it, but I don't know. I just want to be able to make a name for myself and get to some place for myself, and not like everybody needs help every now and then, but I just don't feel like I'm there yet to be like, here, girl, like, check my shit out. Even though I love everything I do, but I still, every time I'm done, I'm still like, oh, that was bad. Oh, you didn't point your toes. And oh, you need to be like, there's still some things you kind of beat yourself down with. But, and then in that sense, burlesquing, because I started burlesquing officially in 2015. New Year's Day was my first burlesque show in 2015. Wow. So that was awesome. But that just taught me how to slow everything down and make them see you. Burlesquing is real, which, I mean, as we know, or if we don't know, it is the art of tease. So it really taught me how to, like I said, slow it down. Because, you know, you had like, my memory is like the worst. Who am I thinking of? Gypsy Rose Lee. Oh my God. She is very popular for what I like to say minimal. I can't remember what they specifically classify it as, but I like to call it minimal stripping. Okay. Like because Gypsy Rose Lee burlesque back in the time where, first of all, showing your ankles was whorish. Burlesquing was illegal, and but she would come out and do little things like she would be in like full freaking petticoat and like full on everything, like neck down, like full dress or just skirting all of that, and then she'd come out and just slowly do a glove pull, show a little wrist, disappear. And it's like, what? They went crazy for that. But even the simplicity of it, like just watching her slowly, like almost like she's bored, but she's giving you everything. Just take these gloves off, and then and it's just like, oh my God. Or she'd come out and just do like where she'd like almost take all her under petticoats or things off, and then you think, oh, she's gonna take the skirt off, or oh, you know, or she'll probably like do a stocking pull or something, and then that'd be it. And then when she actually did strip down to like corset and stuff, she did this thing where instead of letting you see her, she pulled the curtain, take off her corset, drop the corset over the top of the curtain, and then you think she's about to reveal herself, and she just struts off and it's done. So she would almost give you everything, and then you just be sitting there drooling, like begging for more. So I love that. And then getting introduced to, thank God for Instagram, but like seeing people like the Black Pinup and people like Miss Victory Violet and people like what's her name? I love her so much, and I'm sorry if I'm saying this wrong, Misty Mayday. Just seeing people like that, and Frankie Fictitious, like watching those ladies do what they do, whether it's classic burlesque, traditional burlesque, or like neo burlesque, where you're putting, you know, you're doing it to some updated version of In the Mood, you know, the big band trumpet version of that, or maybe you're doing something to like Lady Gaga, or you know, something like that, or how it's getting awesome where you're getting like different parody shows. Like I saw Blackheart Burlesque in Houston 2 or 3 or 4 years ago, and they had like what was it? There was Adventure Time. There was of course there was like a Star Wars Princess Leia themed one. There was a onesie themed routine, and it was awesome because it's almost like cosplaying down to pasties and panties, or down to tassel twirling the boobs. But yeah, like that's something that I want to be able to do, to like kind of move in and out of. I would love to be able to move in and out of like a traditional classic burlesque form to a more updated kind of neo burlesque. But because I'm a pole girl at heart, and stripping has always been my, I don't want to say my bottom line, because burlesque also in the very beginning is still considered stripping, because we are stripping down. So whether you going full butt naked or
right,
or you going pasties in a thong or topless or what have you, you're still a stripper, and I still respect all my strippers on the same level. And that's what I said, like, we all just have to know our worth. Even in the burlesque community, there's a huge fight about making sure you're getting paid the right amount of money for certain gigs. And there's new girls out there. I just so happened came from the stripping realm, so for me it was, sorry, on top of giving you quality stuff, it was always about getting that coin. Like, you're not gonna have me out here in a public eye for whoever the F to be rude or unruly or closed-minded, or even be so into it that they are overly excited, because things tend to get, when you get overly excited, people tend to overstep boundaries too sometimes, and I guess not realize it or what have you. But if you're getting in that realm, I need compensation for this.
Yeah.
There's still old laws in certain places where you can't do burlesque, or you can't strip in public, which, I mean, is beyond me, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, for me, it was just always walking into the strip club. I left Shakia at the door. They say for you to have a dancer name. I mean, some people do, some people don't. I do. I preferred nothing to be, I guess, out of the norm. So I danced by Ashley. So, and it made it easier for me to have a persona. So it made it easier for Shakia to kind of be left at the doors and Ashley to kind of pick up the slack, versus, I guess, and no disrespect, this is just like a champagne or I just wasn't that type of girl. Like, I wasn't a Ferrari girl.
Yeah.
That type of girl. And even nowadays, like, I love how creative people are getting with the names. Like, I have a homegirl. She dances by Blake. I love that. That is not even her name at all, but I fucking love the fact that she dances by Blake. You know what I mean? Like, or like just the unisex names. Like, I really, really like that. So, and then I've heard of names that were overly creative that people kind of had to wind back down, like Disco Bunny. I don't know. It was cute. I understood where she was coming, and it kind of fit her personality, but I don't know, coming from, I think she was from San Antonio, but she was the newbie at that time. But by the time it was all over with and she all talked to us and everybody kind of helped her out, like, she had, her new dancer name was like Mariah, and it was just weird to see how the women in the club, as negative as people like to think we are, and as catty as people like to think we are, we actually help each other out. Like, there's actually, I don't want to say a pecking order, but there's a respect level. If you walk into any club where there's been a group of girls there for however long, or there's a group of girls there who respect this place because they feel like it's home and it's comfortable, you have to know that if you're coming in here and you disrupt this, that there's going to be backlash. And it sucks because you still going to get looked at, or the person who's defending it still going to get looked at as super saver hoe, depending on which girl it is. If it's a popular girl, everybody going to have her back. It's like Beyonce versus whoever the fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it don't matter, but you know what I mean? So if you go into a club, for sure, no respect. Don't be no pussy and don't be a punk, but have respect. Like, we all have nerves. We're all women. Like, my first time in the club, I was quiet. My head was down. But the first time somebody tried to step on my toes and be disrespectful, I perked up. That's just where it was. I mean, each time it happens, or the more you go, the more comfortable you are. So, you know what I mean? You know how to move within each set of person or people. Like, everybody has a clique. Everybody, I mean, oddly, we all know any group of anything, somehow it's going to all wind back to high school or something.
Right.
That's just how it is. But as long as you come in and have respect for each girl that's in there, and you're not coming in with ill intentions. Like, if because there are chicks that come in there and come off so sweet, and then all of a sudden you look up and half the damn dressing room has been ransacked or raided through. And I don't mean ransacked, like, but you start to slowly hear, holy shit, where's my money? Oh, fuck, where's my makeup? Hold on, where's my phone? Like, then you realize, oh, snap, somebody then came through here while everybody was out here hustling and started just picking off little, you know what I mean? And either stashed it somewhere or packed her stuff up and left in the process. Like, there are, people don't think there is, but there are points times where the dressing room is empty. Like, you could hear a pin drop and a fly fart. Like, it would be really empty in there. And then there's sometimes the dressing room be the most poppin'est place on the planet. Like, you don't even want to go home because the dressing room be so lit sometimes.
Yeah,
like,
it sounds like fun.
Like, sometimes you don't want to hit the floor. And then sometimes, I mean, like, anytime you get locker room talk, you get Murder, She Wrote. Those are times where you just know, okay, we about to get the juice. Somebody about to set somebody up, or somebody looking for somebody cheating, or it went down last weekend. Like, you just waiting on all the juice. And then sometimes it's one big soap opera or telenovela. Somebody over here is boo-hoo crying. Somebody over here about to cut a bitch. Somebody over here being real shady. Like, it's just, and it be a lot of that going on all at one time. And then all of a sudden, there's an oblivious group of people that's loud and having fun and don't care about none of that negative stuff that's going on. So, it's just, you gotta, even if you don't know who you are, walking into the strip club, because for a long time, and I still tell people this, I don't give a fuck what nobody say, strip club, and I'm not doing this to promote everybody be a stripper. That shit is hard. It is really hard on a whole level, and a lot of chicks will hate me for this, and I don't care. On a whole level, we're technically begging for money. Like, not in that sense, because I don't walk up to you like, you want to dance? Yeah, you know you want to dance. Get out. Like, I don't do that. Like, for me, I always ask, would you like company? Depending on the guy, and you'll get the question, well, what type of company are you talking about? Okay, well, hold up. We're in a club, so I will sit here, I will chat it up, I will absolutely give you lap dances if you're willing to pay. Like, it's technically like being your girlfriend for the night, minus I'm not allowed to really put my mouth on your mouth. Like, not, I don't want to say not really, because you're not supposed to make out with the customers. Like, they're not supposed to finger you. Like, you're not supposed to have sex with them. That's in every club. Like, that's not supposed to happen. It does happen. Some people do it. That's not my bag. Again, I've been with the person I've been with now for 12 years. Well, March 13th. So we don't actually have an anniversary. We got together around spring break. We were in college, so we were so fucked up. Like, but we were having fun. So we just know we got together somewhere at the start of, but before the end of spring break. So our anniversary is the spring break, March, whatever week spring break lands on in March. So this year will be 13 years, but I've been with the person I've been with for almost 13 years now.
That's amazing.
They did not judge me. They actually are the reason I am. So my stripper time trial went like this. All right, I can't hide this. I'm gay. I have a girlfriend. Whatever. It is what it is. So my girlfriend, waitress at Yellow at the time, we had a roommate who was a male. Her thing was, and this was her theory, and that's why I love her. I just love the way she thinks. But her thing was, you have to give the roommate a lap dance. He's not somebody I'm fond of. He's not somebody I'm attracted to. And I've been with guys, and I don't totally hate guys. Penis is penis. I see the allure in it. I'm just not. I cry when it's over. I'm sorry. I'm not into it. I do have a dildo. We do have toys. I enjoy I say it's mine because it goes inside of me. So it's fucking my dildo. Well, it technically goes inside of both of us. If you know what a dildo is, it technically. Anyway, but so I do have my toys and I use them. But as far as a human schmangling, dangling penis. I can't do the penis like that. I will look at it. It's beautiful. I get it. All shapes and sizes. Just not my cup of tea. So my girlfriend was like, you got to dance for the roommate. And yeah. So she told me, like, the girls go down topless. Like, this is like boom, boom, boom. But whatever you want to do, you do. So I ran track. So I was a big I was a big boy shorts. And I'm still half shirt type of girl. Mm-hmm. So I did boy shorts, a bra, and a half shirt. And I just, with no idea what the F, I danced. And I think I did a pretty great job. His mouth was open. He dropped jaw and had a hard on by the time we were done. Even my girlfriend's jaw had dropped. So apparently I did pretty damn good. But it went on as far as she let me get all the way to where it was like I was about to take my top off. And then she was like, all right, nope. Well, I got like the half shirt off, but when it got to the point where it was like I was about to take my bra off. So I got the straps down and I went to go ahead and pull it out, and it was like record.
Record scratch.
Yeah, scratched the record. We done. So she was like, all right, you ready? And she took me in. And again, I was braiding the manager's hair at that time. So I hadn't really talked to him about it, but I did talk to my girlfriend about it. So when I got in, Kenny was like, I've been close to you because you've been braiding my hair, so I know the body's great. He was like, but I'm sorry, you gotta do something about that hair. And I was full on 4 years with an afro, and I was just like, son of a bitch. But I did hair, so it wasn't like, for me, I love hair, and I need to go to school. Everything I know is because of what my mom, the foundation that my mom gave me, and then everything else I just straight street studied and hustled. Thank God for Google and YouTube. And
self-taught is usually the best, anyway.
And then other people passing little tricks on to me, and me literally, I'm a note type of girl. Like, I will take a piece of paper and write down notes in a heartbeat. Like, that is what got me through college. That is how I passed. I do that to this day. Any job I go for training on, I got my little notebook and I'm writing it down. They be like, girl, you are extra. I will not forget. So I'm going to go home and study this. Like, I feel like if they train you for positions and you learn systems for a reason. So if there's steps to something in your training and it's already the stress of a new job and this, that, and the third, why not write it down so you can go back and study it when you go home?
Right.
Because I'm sorry, most of the time I don't really retain it all there, and sometimes I'm scared to be like, hey, can you go back over this the next day? Because it's like I sat in this interview and told them, well, I adapt very quickly, and I'm like, and I mean, we all lie on a certain level when it comes to getting a job. But yeah, so just for me, I would say if you're going to strip, know yourself. Know, and it sounds weird, but know your triggers. Know if you're an emotional drinker. Know if you're prone and susceptible to being that party girl. And I say that, like, if you know you're prone and susceptible to being a party girl is if you can go sit in, I wouldn't say a public setting, but I would say with a group of friends, or if you go out somewhere by yourself and you get with a random group of people and everybody starts doing coke, or somebody is passing out ice, are you gonna be that person that feels left out, and when they offer it to you, just be like, oh, all right, let me take this bump, or let me snort this ice. I've seen people think they have cocaine and end up with ice and not give a fuck and break it down and snort it anyway. And I'm just like, bitch, I love you, but no. And real talk, a female just be like, hey, girl, come on, girl, it's all good. Yeah, I'm fine. It's okay. I'll take my 420 any day. And then I've also had what I thought was a really pretty, she was an older black lady actually, but she was shorter than me, and she at first, I thought she was younger than me or around my age at that point in time. But she straight up offered me meth like it was family dinner.
Oh, my goodness. That's worrisome.
Well, I don't want to say offered. What kind of offer? Well, yeah, a little offering and a little advertising. So what she did ask me was, can you hold my stuff? So what I already knew was the case was, because we were out there working, she was working the guy that was next to the customer that I was with. Sorry. So I was like, okay, so she's about to leave, because he was kind of asking everybody. So I figured he just found his person to... Yeah. So she decided she was gonna go, but they were leaving, which was fine. So she was gonna take him to the motel or something, she said, and she was just gonna dance for him. No, you weren't. Like, I get it, but we're just dancing here at the strip club. Like, why? So whatever. So she was like, can you hold my stuff? And I was like, what do you mean, like your purse and stuff? I was like, I usually don't, because I don't want nobody to come back and be some bitch be talking about I stole her stuff.
Yeah.
And she was like, it's all good. Like, I understand. Like, I already got my money on me. I was like, all right, well, if you want to put it in my locker, go ahead. You can go ahead and stick it in there before I lock my locker. And she was like, well, let me do this, this, and this. Then I realized there was no, like, stuff like that. Like, there was just this little thing. And I was like, whoa, what's up? And she was like, oh, you know, it's nothing. Like, you don't even have to go in there. I just need you to hold it. I'll be back. I'm just going to go dance for him for about an hour, and I'm going to come back. And I was like, whoa. She was like, well, do you do anything in particular? I was like, well, I smoke weed or whatever. And I was like, that's about it. I was like, and I drank. She was like, well, that's my meth. And I was like, she was like, it don't do nothing to you. Like, look at my skin. Like, I don't even. And I was like, I'm glad for you. If that's just, I was like, that's just not.
Yeah.
I don't see myself doing it.
Yeah.
So immediately I went right into, well, my daddy was a crackhead, so I'm prone to that. I just choose not to. And she know I'm serious. Like, look, it's very controllable. Like, there's nothing.
So she was trying to advertise,
yeah,
like, I got a sale going on.
You want this meth? And I was like, no. And I was like, actually, I can't hold that, because if something goes down, first of all, they got cameras in the goddamn locker room. Like, if anybody heard that, or if they're and if they happen, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't go there. But yeah, so I don't know who she got to hold it or what happened, but she left and came back and baby wiped off and got dressed and went back to it.
Wow.
But that whole time, like, after that, we were on the sofa deck, and it was me, a customer, and another dancer, and sure enough, she was saying how meth don't hurt you. Like,
well, here on a podcast, we don't condone.
No hard
just say no.
Yeah, please.
Well, I'd hate to cut you short, but we should probably like wrap up. Where can we find? Because I know you got a performance tomorrow, right?
Yes, I will be at the Belmont for Fetish thing. I think it's a Valentine's.
Okay. After Valentine's? Okay.
It's like the after Valentine's show. But I might be wrong, but I know the big part of it is for the Belmont staff, like service industry people. It's actually
cool.
Like a Valentine service industry. So all my service industry people, the Belmont tomorrow night. I think I want to say doors open at 7.
Okay. Well, by the time this airs, it'll be past it. But I wanted to know because I work tomorrow, but I definitely want to make it.
Well, I'll post it. It should be on my page. I'll repost it.
Okay.
It'll be up.
All right.
But yeah, that's that. And then I have Dirty Disney in March, which I'm on Instagram at Shakia_Radon. And then Facebook, I have my performer page, which is Shakia Radon. And then me on Facebook is just Shakia Williams, which is my last name. But I always post all my stuff on there. I don't have a Snapchat, I guess.
I don't either.
Today, okay, because I was like, I'm
too lazy.
I don't have no Snapchat.
Yeah.
But I always post all my shows, and I'm trying to be more frequent about it. So I'm in this weird phase where I'm scared to say anything about it, because I feel like if I push it and invite people and then no one shows up, I'm gonna be a heartbroken little.
Oh.
But I'm gonna start posting more and just letting give people a heads up more, because you can't want support if you don't stick it out there to get the support.
Right.
So I'm gonna do that.
Yeah. Well, I want to support you. So whatever you got going on, please check her out. You're so amazing on the pole. Like,
And I was gonna say, if you get anything out of this, be you, be free, be strong, be different.
Mm-hmm.
People are gonna forever and always tell you can't.
Yeah.
If you don't, you won't. So I guess all that means you can't. But seriously, like, you just really gotta do you. But yeah, I'm on my social media. That's it.
Thank you for coming today.
Thank you for the invite.
Thank you for sharing. Very inspirational and opening up. And I want you back again.
Yes.
And we'll do a shoot.
Yes.
Because that's long overdue. I know. I'm sorry.
I feel bad.
No. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But let's cheers. And you guys have a good night.
Yeah.
You can reach us at fatalpodcastatx@gmail.com or Instagram at fatalappeal.